Member David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Chair. And I want to say, sir, that this is the first year I haven't been to field days. I've been to them the last 4 years. And I can tell you the same thing happens to me every time I go there. Somebody will come up to me and say, you know, we always do better in the rural sector under Labor. I mean, they always say that. I'm telling you, this is what people say. And I say to them, well, why don't you vote Labor? No, I still vote National. I don't get it. But anyway, that's what they tell us. Anyway. Look, there's a lot of people that have been sitting here, if they haven't gone to sleep, listening to the last two speakers, in front of their TVs, waiting for that cold spell to come up the New Zealand, and thinking about whether they'll have to turn up their heaters a little bit more in order to stay warm. And they can't. A lot of them are thinking, I'm not sure if I can afford to do that, because the power prices, they know, have gone up 20% in the last 4 years, under a government that said that they were going to bring those power prices down. That's 4 times faster than inflation. 4 times faster than inflation. Power prices have been going up. And here's the interesting thing about that.
Is that right? Yeah.
When Labor was in power, and yes, I agree the power prices went up there, then the demand for power was rising at an ever-increasing degree. Sorry.
Order. We're actually on primary industries.
Are we? I thought you were talking about...
They use electricity, though.
So, order.
Oh, sorry, you want to put the motion, do you?
Yeah. So, so if the member's just lost a call, unfortunately, because we're not on primary industries.
We are on primary.
We are on primary industries, and I think the member was. You can talk about primary industries. Otherwise, you've just lost the call, because because what you've done is actually taken a call. I'm happy that you continue, but you must relate it back to primary industries.
He will.
Yep, David Shearer.
He's been on a...
And, sir, the great thing about these, as I say, these power prices are going up, sir, it's affecting farmers right across the country. And every dairy shed, and every processing plant, these farmers are being affected by electricity prices going up at 4 times the rate of inflation. Sir, it's not the urban areas, it's the rural areas, it's the farmers that are the backbone of this country. That's and right. They're being hit harder than anybody else, sir. Sir, this is economics 101. When demand falls, prices should fall, but instead, sir, farmers all across New Zealand and throughout the rural sector are paying more for their electricity than they ever have before. Don't interrupt me, Mr Bridges.
Let's be honest. You can't read about it.
Let's be honest. Now, that would be a change. That would be a change, sir, because today all we have heard about is exactly the exact opposite of that. Your foreign minister, sir, standing up and telling a whole lot of rubbish about what has been going on. But, sir, coming back to the rural community, sir, farmers deserve to have transparency around their power bills. They want to know how much of their power is delivered is being charged to them from the power companies, the electricity companies, and how much is being charged to them from the lines companies. And in many of these rural areas, in that member's area there, many of those people and those lines companies are coming to them and saying, we are paying too much, when it's actually the electricity companies and those members' electorates in those rural areas that depend so heavily, sir, on funding. So, sir, what have we got? We've got falling demand and rising prices that are hitting the farming community right across New Zealand, sir. We've got 60% of our power is coming from hydroelectricity generated in some of those farming and rural areas. 60% of of power is coming from there, and we've paid for those dams over and over and over, and yet we are still paying far more for our electricity than just about anywhere else in the Western world, Mr. Chair. So, sir, we're just asking for a fair deal. We're just asking for a fair deal, that if people are sitting at home right now watching this debate on television, thinking twice about turning up their heater in order to stay warm, and knowing that if they do that, their power bill will be through the roof, sir, I feel for them, because this government has raised those prices 4 times faster than inflation at a time when demand for electricity is falling. And, sir, if you know anything about economics, that is absolutely wrong. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I call Stephen Browning.
Mr. Chair, I rise to speak on Vote Primary Industries, mostly in response to hearing what seemed to be twaffle